Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I am your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. Today we dive into the Abby and Libby case out of Delphi. Right now we're 9 days out from the trial. What's up, Farmer? Shane, good to see you. Yeah, we took yesterday off, so you didn't miss anything really. Good to see you, Beth. Denise V, welcome in. Funkarella, hello. Dana, good morning. Hathers, good to see you. Gambies. Jill Moser. Denise V, Rescue All the Dogs. Phil Bond, Andy Kane. Welcome in, everybody. So 9 days. That is not including jury selection. What do you guys have to say about all this? Funkarella, 9 days. Justice is on its way for Libby and Abby. I hope. Good to see you, Boston. Are we past the point of delays or no? I think they could still request a continuance, but that would have to be approved by the judge, I believe. Good afternoon, Purple. Jury selection is before that. That'll be on the 14th. Trial should begin on the 17th, which is in 9 days. Good morning, Kitty Cat. All right. Did you guys see that Kathy Richards' wife, Kathy Allen, put out a statement through her attorney? Looks like the Murder Sheet podcast tried to contact Kathy and asked the question if it was true what they were hearing. You know, I guess there was a rumor going around that she was done with her husband, her marriage is over, and that she believes his confessions. I think it was yesterday she officially made a statement through her attorney about that. Have you guys had a chance to read that? So it's about 3 pages. Attorney David Cloutier. Representing pro bono. Well, we would never heard his name if it wasn't for this representation, especially me over here in Arizona. Wise choice. You got it, Denise. What's up, Fab? I do not trust the sheriff or his entire department. They are so corrupt. What makes them corrupt? I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking, can you cite one reason? Yeah, we'll go ahead and read it now. Shane says, yeah, I seen her statement. She's staying loyal to the cause. Yeah, it looks a little bit like damage control, but we'll see. Funkarella saw it but didn't read it. Yeah, we'll go through it right now. Hey, Dana says no. Aethers, I haven't read it. Yeah, the murder sheet on there, they read it. That's where I saw it this morning. And then they were talking, my members were talking about it in the Discord. And I think I grabbed this off of Twitter. Can't remember who, but whoever posted that, thank you. Kate B. Whenever somebody uses an attorney to make an official statement about their marriage, a divorce is in their near future. I don't know. This seems more like damage control to me. Like we don't need Richard Allen under any added pressure. Let's put out some damage control here. On the other side of this coin, apparently there's some recorded audio. I've never heard it. Until I do hear it, it doesn't exist. That's where I'm at. If I can't hold it in the air and swing it around, not much you can do with it, right? Yep. That's a good translation, Funkarella. Pro bono translated free publicity, right? Most definitely. I mean, do you blame the guy? What's up, Farmer? Good morning, Patty. Beth says, I thought it was in bad taste to quote Kelsey, though. Yeah, me too. Why would you do that? Your husband's accused of killing these two girls. Can't you find another quote? I just don't get that. What's up, She Warrior? Susie, good morning. All right, let's take a look here. The following is in response to questions directed to Kathy Allen. My name is David Gloutier. I have been a licensed attorney in Indiana for over 28 years, practicing in South Bend and handling personal injury and wrongful death cases primarily in North Central Indiana. I can confirm that I am privileged to represent Kathy on a pro bono basis with respect to advising her about protecting her interest relating to the publicity surrounding the State vs. Allen case in which Kathy's husband Rick is accused of the tragic murders of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. Kathy and I were brought together by a mutual acquaintance. Sounds like one of the defense attorneys, who is a professional who felt strongly that Kathy needed advice and representation for herself. So I'm assuming that's somebody, if not Rosie and Baldwin, somebody connected to them. Over several months, I've gotten to know Kathy very well. She is under incredible stress, but has handled it with grace, dignity, and goodwill. It has been a privilege to get to know somebody of Kathy's strength. Kathy and I both have complete sympathy for the family members of Libby German and Abby Williams and for all the people of the Delphi area. It is difficult to imagine how hard it must be for the families to deal with the loss and the unspeakable, horrible nature of what happened to Libby and Abby. For various reasons, Kathy has scrupulously avoided public comment of any kind, even in the face of repeated false claims and misinformation, both generally and specifically related to her. Kathy has no desire to do or say anything to prejudice any party's rights related to the upcoming trial. She has also been very careful to avoid doing or saying anything to add any pain or anxiety to the families of Abby and Libby. However, recently Kathy was contacted by the media source, The Murder Sheet, from whom she learned of a claim by an unknown person or persons about Kathy's marriage. So what happened was, I think it was posted on a Facebook group by the wife of Osbrook. Can't remember her name. Maybe you guys can put it in the chat. But this rumor, I mean, it was like a brush fire. You know, I had 3 emails, I had some people mentioning it in the Discord. But remember, guys, if I can't hold it around, I don't. That's why you probably haven't really heard me talking about it. And we just refer to it as a rumor. You know, rumors circulating. Well, I think the rumor finally got big enough that it actually got to Kathy and maybe even gotten to Rick. And the murder sheet, you know, they wanted answers. So they wrote Kathy, and this is a response to that. And apparently, the rumor that's going around is that not only was it overheard, but the audio was recorded outside of a 3-day hearing in Delphi that Kathy approached members of the defense team or a group of individuals that are working uh, for the defense team, and she wasn't wearing her wedding ring, according to this group of people, and that she said that she was going to be getting a divorce, and she believed Richard Allen's confessions. So that rumor started to circulate. All right. The murder sheet from whom she learned of a claim by an unknown person or persons about Kathy's marriage. We appreciate the professionalism and journalistic integrity of the media source, the murder sheet, in seeking comment before reporting. I am responding on Kathy's behalf. We do so in part because the allegation brought to Kathy's attention does not relate to the facts of the case or the upcoming trial, but is specifically about her. In addition, Kathy's response is necessary because the truth matters. Oh, is that why? And misinformation causes harm to her and her family, as very wisely said by Kelsey German in July 2019. Rumors suck and they hurt people, as quoted in the Indianapolis Star. That was in poor taste, I think. Therefore, I can confirm the following answer from Kathy to the questions you asked. The questions were whether Kathy considers her marriage to Rick to be over and now believes his alleged confessions. Relatedly, it was asked of Kathy whether she has some kind of recent change of heart and is on the basis going around saying these things. Kathy's answer to these questions is most definitely and emphatically no. Kathy's marriage has certainly be profoundly affected by Rick's incarceration, and both of them are suffering immense stress. But Kathy loves her husband, believes in the sanctity of the marriage vows, and believes that the same presumption of innocence our legal system gives to Rick should be given in equal measure by her to the husband she loves. As to her husband's alleged confessions, it is not true that Kathy now believes them, but at this time, Kathy will limit her response to just that. Finally, she has not been going around telling people these things. Kathy certainly has strong opinions and much to say about these matters more broadly. Perhaps in the very near future or further down the road, she may be willing and able to say more. For the time being, she is only responding to the direct questions you ask that do not relate to the facts of the case, but do relate to Kathy herself and her reputation. With malice towards no one, Kathy prays for justice and for healing for all innocent people affected by the murders of Libby and Abby. She also is extremely grateful to Rick's defense team of lawyers, their staffs, and investigators. They have been courteous and kind to her and very conscientious about representing her husband. The end. Very strange. Very strange to see the wife of a convicted killer responding to online rumors. Shane says, "Yeah, quoting Kelsey was strange." Yeah, I mean, you got a million things to quote. Why even go there? Fucking weird. What's up, cheeks? Timmy, good morning. Thank you, Hathers. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Like right now, go share it. Kitty Cat, I was hate listening to DD at the time the statements came out, and they were upset about the way something was being handled. Oh, the defense diaries at the time the statement came out. I'll have to go see what you're referring to. What's up, Steffa? Hope you're having a great day. Oh, it's not Osbrook's wife. Who is this Osbrook? Like, I don't know a lot about it. As soon as I saw it was a rumor and somebody named Osbrook, yeah, I'm not the person to come to about these type of rumors. I don't spend too much time on Facebook. Cindy says, not the wife of Osbrook Sleuth, just a coincidence of names. Okay. Do we know who this person is? I know it's an Osbrook person. What's up, Mustang? Hey, what's up, Harvey? I think he's going to wait till the last possible opportunity to take a plea. I say no later than the 22nd, if he's going to do it. Amelia, sounds like Kathy knows much more than previously thought. Why do you say that, Amelia? Yeah, and I don't know if this is Osbrook's wife. That's what, like I say, guys, I get messages from all over the place, and that's the message that I got. Osbrook's wife overheard Kathy, but it sounds like just a coincidence of names. Gambies, I don't understand how this is what drew the line to make her give a response. Her husband is called a child killer, but saying they are getting a divorce is worse. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Yeah, I agree. It's almost as if they don't want to put any added pressure onto Richard Allen. You know, if he's already making confessions and now he hears that his wife wants a divorce, you know, that may be the straw that broke the camel's back. Because he really hasn't officially confessed. You know, he hasn't sat down. He hasn't sat down, you know, in an interrogation room with the videotape on, giving his sworn statement to an investigator. He hasn't done that yet. Something like that, a rumor like that, might actually push him to do something like that. Hold on. I have a. Oh, yeah. I don't know who this is. Sarah Elrod Osbrook. Yeah, I don't know if there's any relation. But apparently that's who put out the rumor. And maybe folks took it seriously because her name is Osbrook. I don't know. But the plot thickens, and apparently there's a recording of the interaction. So I don't know. Maybe that'll come out. I doubt it. You know, usually with rumors like this, there's audio, right, that you never hear. You have to believe me. Only way I'm going to believe it is if I hear it. Shane says, I wonder, has Kathy heard all of his confessions? The ones to her, obviously, but the rest, I'm not sure. I doubt it. I don't know how she's going to get her hands on that. Maybe the defense team played them for her. Kitty Cat Barb M tweeted it 10 minutes before Goosey tweeted the whole statement. The lawyer sent it directly to Murder Sheet. Hmm. What's up, Candies? Hey, Ricky. She is Brenda Bowman. Stand by her man, no matter who he kills. Allegedly, right? Andy Kane says, I mean, that magic bullet is exactly that. It's junk science unless fired. Well, that's not true. Um, when it's fired, all they're looking at are tool marks, right? Tool marks from the barrel, tool marks from the firing pin. So it's all the same science. It's tool marks. So, hey Cindy, she has a well-known handle name. She runs a well-moderated Facebook group. You would recognize her. Yeah, I don't know who these people are, but I'm very curious if they have audio. I mean, now's the time to go ahead and release that. Ricky says she is Brenda Bowman. Stand by her man. Hey Copper, how you doing? Good morning to you. Deleted my birthday off Facebook, and the comfort I have is unbelievable. Oh, was that you, Cindy? So I figured we'd start today's live stream out with that. I thought it was interesting. First thing that popped in my mind was damage control. Could be Kate. Kate says, I think this was Kathy's way of telling Richard Allen this has become too much for her. Yeah, it's as if she's gotten to the point where she can't just ignore it anymore. Has anybody actually heard these confessions, or does everyone just believe they exist because someone says so? What do you mean? You don't believe them because you haven't heard them, or are you just waiting for the context? Knockface, what's up? Sleuth off topic, but I've recently heard that Richard Allen's pool buddy, Dan Howard, is not the same. Yeah, I know people are going around saying that, but it's him. It's the same guy. We've already proven that. If you don't trust me on that, and this is the last time I'm going to say it, Jonathan Lee Riches, when Richard Allen was first arrested, he went on to Kathy Allen's Facebook. It's documented there. If you guys want to go see the video, he goes through all of her friends. It's the same guy. The same guy that said, "Hey, that person has been interviewed, let go." He's right there in Kathy Allen's friends list. Do with that information what you will. I'm done with it. You guys are going to believe whatever you want to believe. I don't know why you need me to confirm or deny. But it is a fact. What's up, Jerry? Yeah, I mean, it must be hard, for your spouse or a loved one to be accused of something so brutal. I think your first instinct is, to trust your husband or your wife, At least you would hope, right? If you were accused of something you didn't do, you would hope that your wife and your family would have your back. I mean, that's the least they can do until a conviction, right? Oh, that's that old country song. Stand by your man. Yeah, Purple says, funny enough, they've never played the audio. Yeah, that's why I didn't even look at it. I just kind of ignored it. But that's not the first time I've seen a rumor like this get spread. So why is she focusing in? Why is there damage control on this specific rumor? Did I not send my comment about the prison guards wearing Odinist badges, or was it deleted? Not quite sure. What about them? What about it? Another statement and not a word about his daughter. Kathy said family, but they've only one child. She never says she believes he is innocent. She says she believes he is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'll wait, That's the least I can do. What's up, Brad? Good to see you. Tammy Wynette. Shane says, yeah, I'm not attacking Kathy with that comment, but his confessions and Libby's video of BG makes me think she dismisses stuff easy. What's up, Jerry? Jerry gonna swat some Delulu bitches. What does that mean? That shit's not funny. I have a feeling your time is very limited here, Jerry. They can't release the content of the 61 confessions until trial. It's protected discovery info. Law enforcement just testified. Yeah, it's definitely going to be evidence during a trial. But that doesn't mean that Kathy wouldn't have access to it. Maybe secondhand. Yeah, you got to go, Jerry. Sorry. We're not going to condone that behavior. That shit's not funny to me. You can't do good and try to represent good while doing something evil. So that means you're just evil. That's the way I see it. I wonder if it's possible that the prosecution asked that the audio not be released as they wish to present it as evidence. Wow, that's interesting, Lala. All right, guys. One of the rules of chat is you got to be able to agree to disagree, no trigger trolling. If somebody doesn't agree with you, it's not the end of the world. Doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean that they're right. You don't have to argue until you're blue in the face. We can all be wrong together. Good to see you, Audra. Yeah, I really didn't say anything. And I don't understand why they would quote Kelsey. That seemed in bad taste. Welcome in, none of your business. I know this has probably been discussed 100 times, but just to clarify, the unspent round was found in the initial crime scene search, yes, and not after they cleared the scene the first time. That is correct. Yep. And I believe that was cleared up during maybe Holman's interview with Richard Allen. I think he quotes there that they found the bullet on the 14th. Somewhere it's in the documentation, but it is a fact. They found it on the 14th, not after the fact. And I don't know why you guys try to lean towards this whole weird conspiracy that they planted the bullet. Like, how does that even get in your mind? Think about it. Any one of those investigators who are planting a bullet would have they would have had knowledge of who committed the crime and motivation to plant the bullet, which means that they're involved in the crime itself. I just don't know how you get there. Do cops plant evidence? Yeah. I've done multiple live streams on that. But they get busted and they get in trouble and they have evidence and they get arrested. Yeah, I think it was Holman, Shane. I think you're right. I think you said we found it day one. It's been in a laboratory, basically saying that the chain of custody is rock solid. Calling people crazy because they don't believe what you do, more proof that you need to grow up. Crazy? Who did I call crazy? Oh, you talking about kitty cat? Let's see. Kitty cat, because you're obviously in need of help if you believe law enforcement lied about the number of confessions. Yeah, you guys need to chill out, both of you. Hey, CJ, good to see you. Well, the latest, we just read a statement from Kathy Allen about the rumor that's been going around. So, somebody on a Facebook group was spreading a rumor, or it might be true. I don't know. Right now, to me, it's just a rumor that during the 3 days of hearings, Kathy came outside and was talking to members of her Richard Allen's defense team, and she said, and this was with her wedding ring off. She said that she's getting a divorce and that she believes Richard Allen's confessions. And apparently, they got the audio of this. I haven't heard it. Don't know if it exists or not. I don't understand why you would keep it hidden. There's no reason to keep it hidden. But Kathy has representation, and they officially made a statement about it. So that is the latest. I guess that came out last night. We read it at the beginning of the live stream, but if you want to hear it again, first time I heard it was on the Murder Sheet podcast. Anya actually reads it, and I read it at the beginning of the stream. I think the one that contains the most information was the confession CJK, the one to Dr. Walla. That's the one where he explained that it was sexually motivated. May have even been the one he discusses the box cutter and the crime flow itself. And before the confessions were made public, a very good source of mine close to the investigation told me that. Told me that details that nobody has had access to were being discussed early on. None of your business. I wasn't suggesting it was planted. I'm sure some people have, but I'm not one of them. I just wanted clarification because I was wondering if the defense would say that it was dropped later. Well, it's kind of the same conspiracy, you know. I think it was on the day of the closed and canceled hearings. Maybe. You might be right. Hey, Big Fish, what up? Good to see you. Fab says, maybe don't start commenting in a sarcastic and rude manner if you have nothing. Fab, you're about to get blocked, buddy. It's going to be your last warning. If you can't agree to disagree, we'll call that rule number 2. It's becoming distracting. CJK, what's odd, Sleuth, is the Allen groupies were beating that rumor to death to force Kathy to react. I can see that on both sides. I mean, I don't know this Osbrook person. I don't know which side that they're on. I don't know if they're pro prosecution, pro defense, or whatever. I just think if there is any audio, now would be the time to play it. Like, look, it is true. I didn't mean to spread a rumor. I was trying to have a private conversation, and I can't help it if people go out, spreading these rumors, but it is in fact true. Here is the audio. But one of you mentioned earlier that maybe it is true. Maybe the audio does exist and it is now in the possession of the prosecution or the defense. But if not, I mean, why can't it be played? The only reason it wouldn't be played is most likely because it's not true. What would be the other reason? CJK says, let's discuss the case in an adult manner. Yeah, if possible. There's no reason to get all worked up. Yeah, and I don't think it's the Osbrook that you think it is, CJ. That's what I was told. Hey, Osbrook's wife, you know. So I don't know who it is. Just a coincidence, I think, with the same last name. But once again, I don't know. Apparently, it's from a Facebook group, and it was a comment that was made maybe in like a private setting. I'm not sure. Cindy says, I believe she turned it over to law enforcement, and it is true, in my opinion. The reason it matters is because Kathy testifies for any reason they can use that against her. I mean, I just don't go around believing things. But like I said, it could be true. I just don't see any reason why it's not made public. Whether it's been turned over or not. CJK says, oh, she's an honest person from what I've seen and heard. I know that Osbrook. Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about this rumor or who this person is that's spreading this information, whether they're trustworthy or not. And me myself, I could care less who it is, trustworthy or not. I trust facts. Farmer says, sleuth a plea or we go into trial? I think both. I think we might make it through a week. I'm going to say the 22nd. They're going to want to get a good look at the jury. Then they're going to want that weekend to kind of weigh their options. Then I say Tuesday of the following week, second week of trial. CJK, why would you stand by somebody you believe killed anybody? Is odd and disgusting. Well, it sounds more like she doesn't know. Like she's confused by the whole thing. I think a better question is why would you turn on your husband, until he's been convicted? That's another question. She's caught in between a rock and a hard place right now. Yeah, so far. We'll see, Farmer. We'll see how it plays out. For the sake of answers, we want this trial to unfold, but it's just my opinion. And unfortunately, that's just something you have to suffer through when hanging out on the Sleuth Intuition channel. It's a cool place, but we gotta listen to this guy from time to time. Small price to pay, I guess. Or maybe not. Maybe it's insufferable. Kathy Allen, did you believe that is your husband's voice? No. Do you lie? No. Is this you on the recording? No. A lie. It's on film. I agree. It should be public. Purple says she's pro prosecution. Would be hilarious if she was Michael's wife. I literally got an email and said, "Hey, look what Michael Osbrook's wife said on Facebook." So I was very confused. I'm not really on Facebook. But I have a feeling that's why people are believing it. I just don't understand how else can you do you get close enough to record them? I thought this Michael Osbrook guy was like working with the defense or something. I'm not sure. I agree with that. Nobody wants to believe their loved one could ever do anything like this. It's a mind breaker. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, just imagine you're going on with your life, everything's fine, you're dealing with your, normal problems, and then boom, you just get hit with something like this. Hey, your husband's just been charged and arrested for the murder of two brutal girls. One of the most brutal homicides in your town's history. Like that changes everything. I think she lost her job, maybe. I'm not 100% about that. She had to move. Like now you're selling your house? Like what the fuck? What a nightmare. What a mess. Oh yeah, it's going to take you some adjusting. I'm ready to leave my iPhone and go back to Android, I think. Candy says, I think she's probably in the worst place being his wife and having the public looking at her and judging. Yeah, it's fucked up. And if he does get convicted, there's only one person to blame for that, right? The victim list continues to grow. Thanks, Joey. Thanks for sponsoring today's live stream. Appreciate you. Kathy and Joyce parked next to her after the last hearing. They were outside smoking and they spoke with her. Aubrey or one of the women with her hit record. So they say. Until I hear it, there's really no proof. Does it exist? I don't know. Do I really care? Not really. Not really. Yeah, I appreciate you, Joey. Hey Ziggy, what's up? Thank you, Farmer. Shout out to those who continue to support the Cash App. Thank you so much. And I don't think there's been a decision about the jury visiting the crime scene yet. Have you guys heard anything about that? What's up, Copper? I'm not sure. I think there's an argument for and against. And I have covered a few other cases where the judge did deny it because the area changed so much. But the actual crime scene itself, I don't, how much could it have changed? There's not much going on out there in the middle of the woods. But the bridge and the trails, The CPS building's not even there anymore. But I don't really think any of that matters. Honestly, I think it's all about walking the trail, walking if they're able to. I think that the jury should walk from the CPS building, walk all the way to the bridge, walk onto the bridge, because now it's been made safe, right? Go up the private drive to the south side of the bridge, of course, with the permission of the property owner, the Webbers. And if they can, go down the hill. If not, you know, look down that, at that area, get a good look at it, go down to the private drive, walk towards up to the creek, like Julie Melvin did in all her videos with her husband. They got some really good footage early on. They should do that. And then they should actually go down to the crime scene itself, get a good look from both sides of the creek. Especially if the timeline is going to be such a big part of this trial. Drone footage and photos, they're just not going to suffice, in my opinion. Thank you, Ziggy. Appreciate you. Imagine living in a town of 3,000 people and everyone there looking at you and thinking you must have known something and didn't say anything. Yeah. There's just no way she could live in Delphi. How is she going to go get her groceries? That would be a nightmare. How is she going to go to her doctor's appointments? That would be a nightmare. She can't do anything. No decision about site visit until after the jury is selected. Yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen there? I think logistically it's not going to be very hard to accomplish, and it would be easy to accommodate anybody with any ailments or disabilities. I think that's just part of it, Farmer. You can't control that. He's going to do that in trial if he's the killer. But think about Gary Ridgway. He took investigators to a lot of his dump sites, and they knew damn well he was kind of getting off on it. Hey, Adra. Good to see you. What's concerning is the YouTube guy reaching out to Kathy and discussing the case, a confession to a family member, as Kathy is under a gag order. The YouTube guy is unhinged, so him overstepping. Well, everybody's chasing the story, right? That's what the murder sheet's doing. Curious minds want to know. But just because let's say the murder sheet got an exclusive with Kathy Allen and they sat down. Just because you're able to interview somebody doesn't mean that they're your best friend now and that you become Facebook friends with them. Oh, I interviewed them, so now I'm on their side. Like, you have to be able to draw the line. I think the murder sheet is good for that. Makes me want to smoke a carton. If I was on the jury, I would want to see the scene and just for the logistics layout of the land. Yeah, you almost would. They're going to be talking about it so much in that courtroom, and you're just going to be like, well, I really don't know. What's it like? How long does it take to walk from the CPS building to the Monon High Bridge? And it looks like the defense's main argument is that one man could not be responsible for what happened that day. If you look in the Franks memo, that's a big part of it. Yeah, they talk about the Odinism stuff, but something that's equally as big, the topic as big as what they tried to make that was the pathetic Richard Allen theory, right? There's no way one guy, especially, and they even talk about how he's like 5'4". There's no way he could have done this. How did he redress the girls? They're trying to paint this picture of it, the impossibility of it all, which I don't buy into. Gamby says, I feel so bad for Kathy. I don't think her supporting her husband says anything about the type of person she is. How she reacts after trial might, though. Yes, I subscribe to that 100%. We'll know exactly what she knew after he's acquitted or after he's convicted. Does she get a divorce once he's convicted? Or does she say, I told you guys so? Like, hey, you didn't prove that my husband did this, so back the fuck off. I agree with that 100%. We'll know when this is all said and done who she is as a person. Yeah, and I can wrap my head around that. None of your business. And we can talk about that a little bit right now if you want to. Let's see. So I put a few illustrations together. Some things I wanted to touch on. Thanks, Boston. The super chat. Thank you for everything you do for Abby and Libby's justice. Thanks, Boston. Okay. So we read in the Franks memo that Richard Allen, he's frequent in this trails quite a bit prior to the crime. This is a place that he's familiar with, which would make sense that the killer, that fits the profile of the killer, right? Somebody who's very familiar with the area. Well, there's a trail represented here by this red line. So instead of walking onto the bridge, if you take a left, there's a trail that it leads directly to the crime scene. Follow this trail and you'll be standing right once you get to the bottom. I don't know, this looks more like a flood area. But that's where the girls were found, right here, right across this sandbar. So who's to say Richard Allen isn't familiar with the crime scene itself? How do we know that he wasn't standing right here days before the murders, looking at the sand bridge or the sandbar, sorry, saying, man, it's very shallow right here. You could literally walk across if you wanted to with minimal hassle. And if you really wanted to, you could just follow and then it's really only deep right here, maybe 3 feet at the most. But you could follow the sandbar and it'd be up to your ankles. Okay, so who's to say he didn't stand right there and think about that? Same goes for the south end of the bridge. Who's to say he doesn't cross this bridge all the time, goes down the hill, stands on this side of the creek saying the same thing? Like, man, it's really shallow right here. If you wanted to, you could just cross right here with minimal issues. And I don't know if this was pre-planned or not. Okay, so we heard from Kelsey herself. She went on a podcast and she explained that early in the morning, like right around 11, they came out here and a group crossed the bridge and they were looking on this side of the creek, and another group separated from them and was searching on Ron Logan's side. Well, the majority of people were searching right here under the bridge. They weren't really spread out through this area. And Kelsey and somebody else, they took the private drive and they were kind of walking up towards the Weber property when one of the searchers who was down here below the bridge, they found a set of footprints walking towards the water. They followed the footprints and it led directly to the clothing in the creek, which is represented by this white dot here. I mean, you guys can see how shallow it is here, right? I mean, look at that. This is all, you can see the ground. It's basically an island right here. It's not deep at all. It's definitely not 3.5 feet. Maybe in this small pool area here, it looks pretty dark. But this entire area, there's no way that it's 3 feet. 3 feet at the most. But in an area that Richard Allen could be extremely familiar with, the footprints lead right there. So who's to say it wasn't his idea to take the girls across that creek? The footprints led right here. And don't forget, there's a trail that leads right to this area on the other side. Hey, Christine. So it would be at this point they yell up, Kelsey, what kind of shoes did the girls were the girls wearing? She yelled down, black and white Nikes. And the girls were actually found just right over here in this area somewhere. So I think it's going to be beneficial for the jury to get out there and see that. You know, that way they can try to put themselves in Richard Allen's shoes. Like, okay, what was he thinking? If he is responsible for this, why did he, why would he cross this creek right here? Well, when they get down there and they see how shallow it is, they're going to know exactly why he did that. Okay. Do you get in trouble for kidnapping two girls, or do you get wet in this freezing cold water? That's a choice he made. I think I have a clip from the RTV6 footage that kind of proves my point. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so you can see the private drive. I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like it's hidden on a little bit cropped out. But if you see, these are the two men, I believe, who were taking the photographs of those leaked crime scene photos of the clothing in the creek. And the clothes is right here in front of them. There's two articles of clothing and one tennis shoe. Right here. And then you have photographs of Tony Leggett standing right here looking at another piece of clothing down here that's in the water. It looks like maybe a sock, possibly. But notice this tree right here. And there's the shoe. You can see the bottom of the shoe right here. Look how deep it is. They're in the deepest point of that area. And it's only coming over the back of their over their knees. So this is where they crossed. Somewhere in this area. Yeah, you see the bottom of the shoe there. Kind of see the shirt wrapped around down at the bottom and whatever this is. Could be the sweatpants, the jacket that Abby was wearing. So in that video, you can see the large tree here. And just in front of that is where the clothing was found. And just notice where it's at. It's right here on the other side of the sand bar or land bridge, whatever you want to call it. Oh, yeah, Christine, for sure. That dude is the epitome of being a monster. Yeah, here's a couple more cases where they took the jury down to the crime scene. Maybe this will give us a little insight. Maybe not. We'll see.
Well, today, jurors in the Philip Chisholm murder trial got a close look at the crime scene. Prosecutors say that teenager murdered his teacher, Kline at Danvers High School back in October of 2013. Our Christina Hager has the latest from day 9 of the trial.
The Philip Chisholm murder trial went mobile, headed to the high school where prosecutors say he raped and killed his 9th grade math teacher, 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer. At Danvers High, jurors saw the halls he's seen roaming on surveillance the day of the murder. Attorneys plan to show Ritzer's classroom, the bathroom from which prosecutors say he pulled Ritzer out in a recycling barrel. They went behind the school, prosecutors pointing to his movements.
Take note for their rights. of the dumpster.
To the wooded trail where Ritzer's body was discovered, and the field house where Chisholm was seen leaving in a fresh change of clothes. The bus drove by other key spots. The BJ's, where surveillance showed him steal a knife after the murder. The theater, where he was seen using Ritzer's credit card to buy a ticket. The gas station he was seen walking in and out of. Before this, the jury began in the courtroom. Testimony from a doctor who saw Chisholm for a psychiatric evaluation when he refused to walk into court during October jury selection.
It's interesting.
Depressive state, a major depression, and the other was a brief transient psychotic episode.
Chisholm was not
Sound
along
familiar?
for the ride, and he asked not to be in court tomorrow. Jurors
Thank
won't
you,
be
Mustang.
here either, while attorneys question another psychiatrist to determine if that doctor should also be in the trial.
I think I have one more here. I think this is from the Porter trial.
The murder trial of a man accused of killing a 17-year-old girl. Today, the jury visited the crime scene in the Federal Hill section of Providence, where LaRon Porter is accused of shooting Tiffany Tallow to death in 2011.
For more, we're joined live now by Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly, who has the latest from the courthouse.
Murder trial is now in its second week here at Superior Court in Providence. The victim is a 17-year-old girl caught in the middle of a fight over a boy. Not only that, prosecutors say she wasn't even the target.
Yeah, the gun went off.
A neighbor on Federal Hill testifying at the murder trial in Providence of LaRon Porter. He's accused of killing 17-year-old Tiffany Tallow more than 2 years ago. Prosecutors say she was killed during a fight between two girls feuding over a boy who was involved with both girls. They say LaRon Porter's mother drove her son and several daughters to Tiffany Tallow's home on Federal Hill. Within minutes, prosecutors say LaRon Porter shot Tiffany Tallow.
Now, when the gun went off, when you heard the sound, did you recognize the sound?
Yes,
And do you recognize it as what?
it's a gunshot.
Outside the courthouse, Tiffany Tallow's aunt spoke with Eyewitness News.
I don't think a man with a gun should have came. And if he did come, just seeing Tiffany's baby face and her not having a weapon and no threat, I don't see what the reason was.
What do you hope this trial teaches? What's the lesson?
Just stop the violence. Stop the violence, weapons, the hate, everything. Just
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like Go will allow them. I think they need to, you know. Let's go to Joey. Just wondering, the people who already have Richard Allen convicted, if he is found not guilty, will your feelings change or will you still treat him guilty? I think that's a good question on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, if he's found guilty, are you still going to go around claiming that he's innocent? And if he's acquitted, are you still going to go around saying that he's guilty? It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think it helps, but I think it's more important the timeline. You know, how long does it take? Getting a real feel for the distance between areas, the distance between the CPS building, the Monon High Bridge, and the Monon High Bridge to the crime scene. I think that's where it's going to be most important. Shane says, Joey, good question. If he's found not guilty, I'd imagine there's a good reason. Yeah, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So they're not here to say, oh, well, he's innocent. They're just here to say, hey, prosecution, you did not prove this man is guilty. Candy says being found not guilty doesn't mean he's innocent. True, but it doesn't mean, you have to be able to prove he's guilty to go around saying that he's guilty. Yeah, me too, Farmer. I tend to believe that as well. I think I have more imagination than the average person. Boston says, I think people can sense when evil is near, like real evil, but maybe not everyone. I guess I know that sounds wrong. I mean, it's possible. I think dogs definitely have a good sense of good and bad people. So it's definitely something that can be picked up on. Some kind of vibe that you're putting off. Oh, and I was also looking at Kegan Kline's probable cause affidavit. I put this together. See what your guys' opinions are here. Okay, so when they're discussing the Apple iPhone 3G, so I kind of clipped that part here. Let's read this. This iPhone was named Kegan and was last utilized by the user on approximately 5/23/2015. Kegan would have been 20 years old at the time. This device was secured with a PIN code. There were numerous usernames and email addresses located on the phone, including, and then a bunch of redacted. There were no chat conversations from Skype or Kick Messenger recovered from this device that had evidentiary value. Multiple still images depicting females posing nude and or partially nude or performing sex acts on themselves were found. The ages of the females were indeterminate. Multiple users saved screen captures of conversations were found. In one screen capture, the sender specifically identified the receiver as Kegan. So he's exchanging photographs, CSAM, with people that actually know him personally. The user saved over 200 still images to this device, which contained location data that was embedded into the file. Approximately 27 of the still images depicted females who appeared to be at least 14 years of age or older. Some of these images depict nude female breasts or female genitalia. Some of the 27 images were geolocated to Indiana cities, including Bunker Hill, Galveston, Indianapolis, Kokomo, Monterey, and Royal Center. So what I did was I mapped all that out for you guys. Maybe you can find a pattern in all this. I included Peru, of course, because that's where the Anthony Shots was. That's where Kegan Kline was living. And then I included Delphi because we're looking at this and how it relates to the Delphi murders. And not to mention that Richard Allen was actually spending some time in Peru around the time of the murders, which could mean something or it could be meaningless. I do know that Richard Allen was working somewhere up over here, right? In Illinois at a Walmart. We know that there was other users using the Anthony Shots profile. I don't know if that's connected to Richard Allen and the Delphi murders at all. But these are the locations that were connected to the CSAM that was being exchanged on this phone here. Monterey, Royal Center, Bunker Hill, Galveston, Kokomo, and Indianapolis. What's up, right field? So I don't know. Maybe there's a pattern there that I'm not seeing. Susan says, did they take impressions of the footprints? That'd be interesting because Richard Allen apparently his feet are abnormally small. They took boots out of that belonged to him that were like size 6.5. Crazy. Thank you, Alex. Thank you guys for supporting my channel that way. Well, Scrub Report, 146 watching, only 51 thumbs up. Disgusting. Disgusting. Thank you, Ziggy. Funkarella, just thinking about the girls being forced to cross that cold water makes me shiver. Yeah. Richard Allen, he's thinking, well, no matter what, I'm guilty of kidnapping right now. It's a serious offense. He could have let them go at that very moment. And he's going to prison. Cold water or prison? What are you going to pick? And he almost got away with it. You guys, don't forget that. He almost got away with it. What's up, Charles? It wasn't the Chrysler factory. It was the Packers plant. During the bomb threat, which was the same day as the first presser, apparently they took some items out of there that were relating to the Delphi case. Hey, Audrey. I appreciate the calm, respectful manner in which you discuss and expect the chat to also reflect the same attitude. I watch adverts to support the channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's sneak down here. Looks like we got a 5-month flex. Thank you, Kitty. May I please get on your Discord? Well, it's a members Discord, so it's your guys's, not mine. All you need to do is shoot me an email, and I will give you a personalized link to join the Discord. Thank you, Kitty. Hey, what's up, Tinfoil? Meant nuggets of information related to Delphi is definitely in Kegan's information. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if we haven't heard the end of Anthony Schatz and Kegan Kline and how it relates to Abby and Libby's case. I would not be surprised. Yeah, the more facts that we learn, the further away he gets. But, I mean, fuck. How do you explain the false confession? How do you explain the whole Anthony Schatz thing? Them having a search warrant served at their home because of Delphi, finding out that Libby was supposed, communicating with this guy, supposed to meet Anthony Schatz there that day. And then later on, you have the creator of the Anthony Schatz account stating that he actually participated in the murders. Because it could only go two ways, right? He's either telling the truth or he's full of shit. Just happens that he's most likely full of shit. Thank you, Boston. Mustang says, I'm 5'2" and have size 8 shoes. If I wear men's shoes. Yeah, that seems about right. Susan says, interesting Napoleon complex. Yeah, maybe that played a part. Too many short jokes. Yeah, Shane, and that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys that. Let me put it back up on the screen. So the date on this device is 2015. He would have been 20 years old at the time. The murders happened in 2017, so Kegan Kline is exchanging information with people who know him personally 2 years before the girls were even murdered. He's no stranger to the CSAM game. Question is, who are these people in Monterey, Royal Center, Bunker Hill, Galveston, Kokomo, and Indianapolis that he's working with? So during the exchange, these are the geolocations. Yeah, so Kitty, just shoot me an email and I'll hook you up. Stop that right now. Stopping in Lake Sorry on the triangle map. Are any of those places associated where any of the on-off again suspects lived or worked? Or even on the way, right? And who does Kegan Kline associate with that's in Indianapolis in 2015? So it's almost a straight line from Monterey to Indianapolis. I don't know. Maybe you guys will find a pattern there that I did not see. Kegan Kline got anything but a deal. He got the book thrown at him. But as far as a deal in the Delphi case, I don't know. I don't believe that the prosecution would put out documentation telling the defense that they're not allowed to talk about Kegan Kline if he was if he played some role in finding Richard Allen. Remember, they took Kegan Kline out of prison. They took him near the crime scene, which means they brought him into Delphi. 4 weeks into the Wabash River search, they have Richard Allen's name. They only search for 1 week after that. Exactly 1 week from the day that they find the lost tip. They search for a week. The search is concluded. About 2 weeks after the search, they're interviewing Richard Allen on the 13th, and they serve a search warrant on his home. When they get the results back about his gun, well, he's interviewed on the 26th and then eventually arrested on the 28th. So I don't know how you just magically find a lost tip narrative. I feel like you would have to have typed in Richard Allen in order to find that information. The whole Richard Whiteman or Richard Allen Whiteman. You type in Richard Allen and then the tip pops up, becomes highlighted. Oh, well, we have something here from a Richard Allen Whiteman. So we definitely have not heard the last of that either. Yeah, we'll shoot you a smoke signal. There's my email address for anybody. And that goes for any of you members. If you guys want to join the Discord, there's not a whole lot that goes on in there. It's just kind of a safe place for you members. Yep, 9 days out, right field. 9 days out. There's only two things that can happen now, right? They go to trial or he pleads guilty. Yeah, you could have that too, Shane. Let's look at the updated my case, and then we'll catch up on chat and get out of here. I think my dogs are getting restless outside, and it's starting to get hot, so I don't want to leave them out there too long. Hey, Audrey, I think KK is a basement-dwelling creep, but I have always felt the murders were part of a snuff film or CSAM. His connection is probably receiving those materials. Just my thoughts. Right field says, ha ha ha, left field. When are you guys going to ever get along? Right and left field. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. Can you guys see that? So on the 7th, they had a response to a petition filed, defendant's response to state's motion in Lemony. So I haven't had the privilege of viewing these documents yet. A little curious. So if they're out there, if you guys can send them to me or shoot me a link, probably on Twitter somewhere already. Notice of delivery of transcript. Looks like that happened yesterday. And then today, automated e-notice issued to parties, and it just lists everybody here. Yeah, nobody's forcing you, kitty cat. Rescue says there is no short route from Monterey to Indianapolis. Yeah, it seems pretty far. Farmer also somehow that greasy bastards. Yeah, all these basement dwelling trolls ruined it for anybody that was looking to turn the basement into a man cave or something. Hey, Melissa. Good to see you. I don't think so, Boston. Kegan Kline didn't get a sweet deal, that's for sure. And remember, you can't bargain with somebody's justice, for a separate case. So for all we know, he has immunity and he's listed as a confidential informant. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know the legal ins and outs. Hey, caricature. Welcome in. KK is involved in Delphi. The cops just could not prove it enough, so they made sure he would get way more years than normal to make up for it. Not quite sure it works that way, but I don't know if we've heard the last of him. Day late and a dollar short. Story of my life. Well, that happens, Melissa. That happens. Hey, GP, what's up? Yeah, we're probably going to get out of here in about 5-10 minutes. Yep, happy Tuesday. I'm having a good day. How are you? I've had my coffee. I'm glad somebody is, Farmer. Yeah, there's nothing special going on in the Discord. It's just a place where members go and we can talk unfiltered. Anything that you're feeling antsy about talking about here in the chat and you don't feel like putting it out there for the world, that's usually what we use the Discord for. And usually before you see it on the live stream, we'll have a discussion about it in the Discord. So you get to see everything that you see here. Usually, you know, you get to preview it there. Plus, you got people like Frank Meister in there. He'll put a lot of documents in there for us. There's a lot of good information that gets shared in there. Minimal trolling and minimal shit talking. True that, Farmer. True that. Yep, I agree with that, Audrey. Remember, the prosecution has a lot of information they want to provide to the jury. There's a story that they want to tell. And that has nothing to do with us as the public. But as far as the defense, you know, the public plays a huge role in what they have to do. They have to kind of change the narrative around. Shit, maybe he did caricature. Maybe he did. Because I believe anybody that's capable of doing what he was doing, the next step is murder, right? You're a fantasy driven creep, and that's what you're being driven to do. You're living that weird lifestyle, and it's only going to progress and get worse. I agree with you. Thanks, Mustang. Take care, Funkarella. Thanks for hanging out. Gail, I believe it starts on the 14th. So that gives them about 3 days for them to figure out the jury. And I think opening statements will be on the 17th. Don't quote me, though. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Boston saying, sorry, not KK, but I was asking about that assistant fire chief for past. Some saying he got a deal. Who got a deal? Fire chief saying that KK got a deal? Yeah, no more man caves. Kegan Kline has ruined that for everybody. What's up, Charles? Indiana courthouses are closed Monday the 14th. Yeah, I think that's a holiday. Good to see you, Hiawatha. Wabash was the straw that broke Kegan's back. All lies about the red Jeep and his father being covered in blood. Their cell data puts them at the cousin's house or grandparents. Should be the 17th, Melissa. Thank you, Mustang. Says justice for Abby and Libby. Joey, if you had seen what I have and what my father has told me, you would understand it does work that way. Like I said, money and power are in the system until that is gone. Gone, this on, go on. Oh, this will go on. Yeah, $1 Million River Search. Well, Melissa, it's not about Abby and Libby for a lot of these channels. As a matter of fact, they won't even mention Abby and Libby's name. It's like nails to a chalkboard. That's what I always say. It's kind of like when you speak about God to certain people. They can't stand it. Yeah. Kegan Kline is a very curious part of all of this. And the way he was communicating with wife Lilith makes it seem like he knows Richard Allen. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we heard more about that. Yeah, and he did fail his polygraph test. So he failed the polygraph test, created the Anthony Shots account, and confessed that he was there in Delphi the day the murders happened and that he participated. But he was taken out of prison and probably taken to get a Happy Meal. So that's motivation enough for him, in my opinion. Is that confidential informant still on the witness list? I don't know. Have we heard the last of Kegan Kline. He would call him names. There was some communications that wife Willis was putting on her channel, and he kept referring to him as like, that's enough talking about that piece of shit, Richard Allen, or I don't know, just kind of made it seem as if he knew who he was. Yeah, and I don't know if Kegan Kline is involved or if the investigators just had their blinders on, right? They see that this guy, Anthony Schatz, is communicating with Libby, even talking about meeting them there that day. And then they find out that the creator of the Anthony Schatz account is some sick person who deals in CSAM. I mean, I'm sure there's part of them that were like, he has to be involved, you know? So maybe that's what we're picking up on. Is just investigators with their blinders on. That's how they overlooked Richard Allen, right? Right when you have this guy, Richard Allen, coming forward, you also have this bombshell piece of information that comes forward. Like, hey, the girls were communicating with this guy, Anthony Schatz, and it looks like it's a catfish account. And look what we've uncovered. So it's almost like if they wouldn't have had the Anthony Schatz information, would they have overlooked Richard Allen? Because we know they knew about the Anthony Schatz account right away. They would have served a search warrant around the 20th if they wouldn't have gone to Las Vegas. They went to Las Vegas, came back on the 25th, and I think only 6 hours had gone by, and they were already kicking in their front door. Not because of CSAM, they were serving a search warrant that was for the Delphi case. That's why they were kicking in Kegan Kline's front door. Not for some other reason, but specifically for the Delphi case. Yeah, I don't know, Farmer. All I know is that in his transcripts, they talk about a polygraph and how he failed it. Hey, Miss Mala, just joining in reference to things Kathy Allen was supposedly heard saying. It doesn't seem like she would be saying that to random people or at a trial where YouTubers lurked. So it's my understanding that the people who recorded her were just standing nearby. So I don't know. It didn't happen until I hear it. That's all. You know, I'm not saying that these people are lying. I'm just saying for me, it didn't happen until I hear the actual audio. But I do find it strange that Kathy feels the need to make a public statement, right? It seems like a countermeasure. Shane says, he said that Tony threw a knife and he disposed of a phone. They found 2 guns, multiple knives, and mobiles, but none linked to Kegan or his father. Yeah, that'd be nice, Farmer. I'm curious about that as well. Yeah, it makes it difficult. CJK says only one has been arrested and charged. If he is found innocent, well, he's not going to be found innocent. It's not guilty. There will be no justice, in my opinion, no other actors in the murders. It's going to make it hard. You know, if they can't find Richard Allen guilty, They've definitely wasted a lot of time. What we're looking at on the screen is the Mears lot. Be very easy for Richard Allen to sneak through here. Back to the CPS building. Right here's the Hoosier Harvest Store camera. So would have captured the vehicle traveling right here on 300. So I believe the killer, once he was spotted on 300, went behind all of this. And you can kind of see the CPS building kind of sticking up over here. Or that business that's in front of it. That's what it sounds like, Joey. I think a lot of people are going to do that. And I think it's going to go both ways, though. If he's acquitted or if he's found not guilty or if charges are dismissed or whatever, people are going to say, well, I still think Richard Allen's guilty. I still think he did it. And if he confesses or changes his plea to guilty, people are going to say, well, he did it. He was pressured into it. He's really innocent. Because unfortunately, that shit does happen. But there's nothing really on the table. Like the death penalty, I don't think has been placed on the table for Richard Allen. So it kind of works both ways. If he changes his plea to guilty, it's not so that he can avoid the death penalty, right? Because some people, they'll do it. They'll take a plea just because they're nervous about going through trial and they could face, something much a harsher punishment. So it kind of works in his favor and then also against him when it comes to Nick McClellan. Like he doesn't have that bargaining chip. Like, hey, we'll take the death penalty. All you have to do is waive your right to an appeal. We'll give you life in prison and we'll close the books. But if Richard Allen does change his plea, he's not doing it out of fear of anything, right? There's nothing there motivating him other than his own conscience. Yeah, that's true, CJ. Yeah, me too. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's live stream. Let me give a shout out to Joey, Ziggy, Boston, Alex, good to see you, and Kitty Cat. If you want to join the members only Discord, shoot me an email. That way I can give you a personalized link. I've heard that before. Short of exculpatory evidence, I'm of the amateur opinion he's guilty of a serious level. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Copper. Shout out to all my members. Thank you for supporting my channel, all you mods, all the hard work that you do. And shout out to everybody who was able to catch the live stream. Thank you for participating in the chat. Replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Leave a comment and we'll get back to you. Thank you, CJK. Julianne, thank you. Thank you, Copper. You got it, Shane. All right, if you guys need to reach me, drop me an email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Go check out the website, sleuthintuition.com. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Take care.